The mission statement of Ashton Community Trust is to create a better life for people living in Belfast. Having really high quality, effective childcare in areas where there would be high levels of socioeconomic deprivation, high levels of poverty, unemployment. Childcare really needs to be there as a support mechanism to encourage families to retrain, to upskill, to access employment so that they can then provide better life opportunities for their family, for their children.
Childcare offers us a position to educate and develop the child at the early stages of their life. They enable a child to play in a caring environment, a stimulating environment, and an environment where they can make relationships that may last them a lifetime. It's priceless, it really is.
Childcare, it shouldn't just be a service that child minds. We need to have childcare for the children's benefit. I think play is fundamental. Every child should be given that opportunity. They're learning life skills, they're learning communication and language skills, and those physical skills that are really underpin future learning. How they build relationships, how they have conflict resolution, how they are resilient, so that then when they go into a setting that is maybe a little bit more structured, for example a primary 1 class, that they're able to then get the full value of the education system because they have already got the skills.
I don't think you can work in this job in childcare and not enjoy the work. I really do feel that there needs to be a passion for it.
I suppose in saying that, what is high quality childcare goes back to having the right environment, having the right staff, and that all takes funding and investment.
My name is Callum. I am Amber. I'm 8 years old. 9 years old.
I find that it's really fun because the leaders are nice and everyone there is just nice in general.
This is my 5th year here, well 4th year, but if you include playgroup it's my 5th year.
A lot of our kids that come to our after school clubs, a lot of them will have been to our playgroup. So like they come to playgroup and they're only maybe just turning 3, so they're coming there, then they leave us for a year and go to nursery, and then a lot of them seem to come back then to the after school club. It's like watching them being like their second mummies, because you're watching them grow from they're so young right up until they're older.
If you're in school it's a little bit boring because you have to do really hard work. I play with games and sometimes I like to read.
We've got like board games and then they've got like puzzles and lots of different ones.
It's all about playing, it's them leading us and telling us what to do.
It's fun. I like my friends because sometimes they make me laugh and I just like it.
It's good for the children themselves because some of them maybe don't have brothers or sisters, or they don't get out to maybe other clubs, so it's good for them for their social side, for them to be able to come and make friends.
My mum didn't want me having a childminder and I didn't want the childminder either. And then my mum had no time to pick me up from school, so then I started coming here.
Well, my mum and dad both work on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so me being here is a really big help.
It's really important for the parents in the area. It's giving them an opportunity to be able to get back to work. Or we'd have some young parents that would have their children come here and giving them the opportunity to be able to go back to college, to be able to get themselves an education.
If you've had like a really tough and stressful day at school, you can just come and relax.
You can just get away from all that hard work and just chill.
would have children coming to us from a variety of different schools. Outside space is particularly good because they can use their imagination.
There's the mud kitchen, which, because I like to do it because I like to pretend to bake. And then there's like the playground with like a big slide and the monkey bars, and I like the monkey bars a lot.
Just kicking the ball about, obviously, football, and just running about, just getting exercise. The school's a bit boring when you have to do all the work, but here it's like you just get to do what you want.
And then there's the craft cabin, which you can do art, which I like as well, and the swings, I found.
Gross motor skills, they're learning interaction with their friends, they're developing their imagination, they're resolving their own conflict, they're, you know, if they're having a fight over who's got a bike, they're sorting that out themselves. It's skills for life they're learning, basically.
My mum and dad work, so I come here because no one else would be able to pick me up from school.
We would have some families whose immediate family live really quite far away, and we are their only source of childcare. So if we weren't here for them, they wouldn't be able to go out to work.
I've been childminding 13 years. I have a full-time assistant with me. We moved, you know, just to have a bigger place, so this is our home.
You can't describe it. There was just a feeling when I walked into Lana's, and I just thought, you know, no, this is going to be the best for Russia. So she'd been with Lana a year and a half when she was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes.
She was with me from 10 months. You know, when she became unwell, we literally didn't know what was wrong with Russia.
Our biggest fear was that maybe Lana wouldn't be willing to take her on, because I mean, at the end of the day, with Russia's type of condition, like, it can be life or death. You know, if she has a low and it's not caught, she could go into diabetic coma, or, you know, these are the fears that you have.
We had to sort of go through a few hoops to keep Russia. So the nurses come in and talked us through diabetes, and then trained us on the pump. And then mum and dad have been a brilliant support, you know. And we've kept Russia with her own friends. Russia didn't have to move. She's happy.
Your child is diagnosed with a condition like type 1 diabetes. Like, the banks don't take that into consideration. We still have bills to pay. I work 8:30 to 5:30. It's a long day. Like, I wouldn't expect my in-laws to watch Russia that length of time. So, I mean, private childcare is the only option for us.
A lot of our parents work part-time, but they've no childcare, so they depend on maybe an older or an elderly parents, grandparents to look after their kids. And if their kids have complex needs, you know, it's putting an awful lot of additional pressure on ageing people. So they like to have another option, and we are that option.
Some families feel very isolated. Even normal things like going to the shop or going to like parent and toddler groups or like soft play areas where it's so busy, so noisy, and some of the children just maybe don't like that type of environment. You know, we're here for the parents as well, the children. So our programme is for 2 to 3 year olds with additional needs. That will be children who maybe have been identified maybe having like delay with their speech, delay with their play skill, or maybe early signs of autism or a learning disability. We use play to encourage skills such as communicating, learning how to play with their peers, and help promote their skills while they're having fun.
People that live in a community, I think we need to look after each other a bit better, and not assume that we can just make universal services and everybody can fit into those universal services. We actually have to think that there are others that won't fit that, and we need to be able to accommodate those needs.
We were the first community centre to provide daycare through Irish in the north, and that was quite an important moment for us. We work with the family support hubs to provide parental support and play support for children facing additional challenges, including children with autism and also children and families who've gone through crisis or trauma.
My name's Tracy. My granddaughter Thea has been coming here from August. Thea's mum took her own life at the end of March. Thea gets a sponsored daycare place, so she comes in, she gets to play with the other kids. She's not around other kids, so it's good for her to come here and get that interaction with them. You don't really have that time to grieve and to do things when you've got a baby. You don't get that chance, and I think it's important that you need it. It was really important just to give me as much of a respite as what it was to give Thea one as well.
In order to keep all the services running, we have to rely on funding. And I would say in order to keep the doors open every day, I would have to work with 15 different funding streams. They all have different monitoring and evaluating arrangements. Most of that funding is year on year. So I can sit here now and tell you that by March, over 60% of my funding would either have to be reapplied or would be under threat. So we need long-term investment, and we not only need it for staff, for their development, for their training, we need it in order to develop the services, but we also need it for the physical environment. We were renovated and extended over 10 years ago, and it's now becoming a big issue to maintain the building at the standard that we want, to move forward, to adapt, and to extend the range of opportunities for children.
The biggest challenge we have is funding, is making sure that we can survive on one year to the next.
I think there has to be more funding in this sector, and it has to be consistent.
If the state could just help out, you know, the cost is astronomical. I have a friend in England, and her wee boy last year got 30 hours free childcare. How is it fair that they get that and we don't over here in Northern Ireland?
Well, we would need somebody to sit and storm out and focus on parents. Parents don't have enough money for childcare, and it does need to be looked at seriously. Sit down, have a conversation around the table. How can we promote childcare?
The childcare strategy is extremely important because it needs to provide better outcomes for children. There is not enough importance put on the job that we do. We're looking after their children, and I think that's the most important thing you can do.